Welcome everyone, welcome back in another of my little audio blogs. Haven't done that one in a while. Okay, my name is Gabriel, for those of you who had not the pleasure of seeing my other materials. I'm a opinionist, I believe. It's hard to call myself differently. And today I'll be talking about information I was able to gather about Age of Wonders 3. The game was announced last year, I think. No, it was this year, 2013. It's still 2013. And I was able to try to find a little bit of information about the game, and I have to say I am quite pleased. I'm quite happy with how the game is proceeding. Development at Triumph Studios. It seems that the game will be released somewhere around first quarter of the next year. Okay, first of all, we know that the game is created and designed under a new vision. The game is seen by the developers as a new product, and what I love about what they do is that they seem to have an idea that the game is something more than just a product. It's also an art. What is Age of Wonders 3 for those of you who don't know? It's a fantasy kingdom simulation, mainly featuring a tactical gameplay from an isometric perspective, and most of all, this game has a very wide range of features, from economy, gold, through diplomacy, races, of course, also with combat, and with expanding your domain. In this game, domain is the part of the map where you can cast spells, and this terrain is under your direct influence. What is most important? Well, first of all, we know that the class system was introduced into Age of Wonders 3. It's sort of an RPG mechanic that will also feature some sort of specializations, and of course was implemented to expand the strategy possibilities. We know 6 classes up to date, and it seems these 6 are only ones available: Dreadnought, Theocrat, Warlord, Archdruid, Sorcerer, and Rogue. The one that was revealed, and we know more about that one, is the Dreadnought. We know that his idea of building power is by using technology. I highly recommend go watch the gameplay about that, because it might be something interesting to see. The story will feature a fantasy world. I'm not sure is this world actually the one we played in the previous titles. The main big thing about the story will be a conflict between 2 big factions. I suggest to look up that info for yourself, because I don't want to spoil it for you. And most importantly, the single player campaign will feature 2 campaigns, one for each side of the conflict. The story will branch, so there will be a multi-ending for the game. There are different states of the world final, which is of course very good. The thing is, a lot of developers have a tendency in the past few years to say something like that. They suggest, of course, that will make the game replayable, but the thing is, not always what they present, not always is what they actually deliver. How that will turn out in Age of Wonders, we'll see. Combat, war is also an important part of this conflict and the game. We know there will be sieging of cities, there will be monster raids happening in your domain. I do hope that you're still able to find cities, like with settlers, you know, you decide where the cities are. And I very much love this feature of Age of Wonders games so far, that the cities were also destructible. You could have plundered. I mentioned that in my previous audioblog about this game, and it seems it will still be there. The number of playable races was lowered to 6. High Elves, Draconians, Dwarves, Humans, Orcs, and Goblins. That makes sense, because when you relaunch such a game after almost a decade without an entry to the series, it makes sense not to overwhelm your players with a stunning number of possibilities. The single player I mentioned will feature 2 campaigns. There will also be a scenario mode where you can play a single map, most possibly a map where triggers are set, and there is a sort of a story in the map itself. There are random maps generated by the computer. There is hot seat mode. scenario mode, random map modes. They are playable also in multiplayer, so you can play either on the same computer, taking turns, or simultaneously via internet. There's also something called an email play, where the game sort of trades your save file between you and your opponent, which is an interesting addition to the game. On October 30th, we also found out that the neutral locations, magical locations like the Gold Ziggurat, the Mana Node, there was an update about it. The developers want these locations to be more useful later on. They don't want it to be like a chest that you just open, and they want it to be a structure that, as long as you control it, it gives you some sort of bonus, which is fine by me. The game was rated T by ASRB, and last but not least, and my favorite update about the game is known as the Anatomy of a Hero. This is my personal favorite because this bit of news suggests that we will have a big influence over the hero, your avatar in the game. We will choose not only the classes that I mentioned before, but also races. We will also have a direct impact on how a player's avatar looks like, which means we won't play as a pre-designed character as it was in the previous titles. We will play our own character, and that's something tremendously good, if you ask me, because the variety here is quite nice. 6 classes, 6 races, very good. So far I was not able to find more info, but from the game, from the gameplay, from the art, it seems that this core gameplay mechanic that was able to allow this game to be such a success around a decade ago is still present there, and they really want to have it. They are able to pull it off. I hope I'll be able to get my hands on a copy of the game. Most possibly I will buy it on GOG.com. I really love this. I really love what's happening in the past few years. PC gaming is expanding, and I really hope this trend will still be there for the couple of years. And considering what's going on in the world, considering consoles, it's just tremendously good fun to see where this is all going. Okay, thank you very much for listening. I rambled a little bit too much for an audio blog, I believe. Feel free to check out other audio blogs. Some of them are maybe a little bit older, and I hope you'll find yourself interested in them. Have a nice day, as always, and my name is Gabriel, signing off.